Welcome to Sinister Heroes. I'm your host, Danny Iniquitous. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel about Dungeons and Dragons. We're trying to take a darker tone with everything we do here. So if you like edgier kind of content, definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely like and share. Check us out on Patreon. And also, if you need any dice accessories, partner up with our good friends at Dice Legion. Check them out. They have awesome things. They have bags. They have dice trays. They have incredible looking dice and other cool things to grab. Definitely check them out. Their link is in the description. And use the promo code SINISTER. It'll give you 10% off all of your purchases. And you can keep using the code. So definitely dig into it. Without further ado, we're going to jump into this week's video. The Path of the Zealot Barbarian. The Path of the Zealot Barbarian comes to us from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It is an incredible book if you haven't checked it out. But it's definitely been out for a little while now. One of the greatest pairings is the ASMR with this barbarian. It works out so well because this is a religious fanatic barbarian. There's a lot of powers of the divine infused into this barbarian, so it works very, very well. And it works so great with particularly the Fallen. I like that idea so much. It's so edgy, it's so dark. You're literally the progeny of a fallen angel or angel-like deity, and you have one constantly talking to you and really impacting your life. It's kind of like a pseudo-celestial warlock, which is a cool concept, but you don't have to dive too much into it. But it gives you this great role-playing scenario where you can even take on that role of like a Jiminy Cricket, where your own conscience is right there, and maybe you're evil. So that now pulls onto you. Maybe now it fights you on your decisions. Maybe it's an argument you have with yourself. Maybe it's a moment where you have to fight your own lineage to become the person you want to. And you can dive so deep into that and make it this big, long history of fallen ASMR that have joined this one cause just to liberate themselves from Mount Celestia and become their own entities. And in losing focus on what that meant, they divulged into evil and darkness, and now that's where you find yourself, and you're battling that because you believe you're right, and you're fighting this great omnipotent, lawful, good kind of entity that's like constantly trying to push you onto the right direction. And because their lore kind of ties them into being heroes, it works very, very well with this particular barbarian. Divine Fury. Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, you can channel Divine Fury into your weapon strikes while you raging. The first creature you hit on each of your turns with a weapon attack takes extra damage equal to 1d6 plus half your barbarian level. The extra damage is necrotic or radiant. You choose the type of damage when you gain this feature. First and foremost, when choosing that type of damage, definitely take into consideration the campaign you're in. Because so much of the monster manual is full of undead, maybe necrotic might not be your best circumstance, or maybe radiant will be. It all depends on what you're doing. Definitely take that into consideration. 9 times out of 10, I will take necrotic anyway, because I like to keep with theme and the idea of role-playing, and I don't mind so much if my damage gets a little debilitated. This is one of the few barbarian subclasses where you do extra damage on an attack, so this makes it very, very, very enticing, because as you go up in levels, this will do more damage. When you get it at 3rd level, you'll do 1.5, so you round it up either up or down, depending on your DM. If you round it up, that's double your rage damage, because the rage damage starts off at an extra 2, so you are rocking out with some interesting capabilities. And as you go further and further, 5, 6, 7, if you make it all the way to 20th level, that's an extra 10 on top of your normal damage. It's an extra damage bonus on a class that is so reliant on just purely hitting things in the face. It's no wonder this already sets it above most of the other barbarian subclasses. Warrior of the Gods. At 3rd level, your soul is marked for endless battle. If a spell such as Raise Dead has the sole effect of restoring you to life, but not on death, the caster doesn't need material components to cast a spell on you. This is fantastic if you're in dungeons or scenarios where you happen to just level up and you're making your way back and you don't have time to go to a shop and pick up regents or components, and you do die along the way. You're a frontliner. You're a barbarian. You are made to take hits. You are made to run up. You will be dropping down a lot. In the event an enemy's smart enough to kill you, and your party doesn't happen to have a gem or anything like that, you can still be resurrected just by expending the spell slot. Which is great because you can save those for other party members in the event that you do end up passing throughout gameplay further down the line. So it always remains very, very useful because you don't know what's going to happen. But it's a very profoundly useful skill that kind of sits on the back burner because when you do cast resurrection magic, you do need those components and they often consume them. So not needing to do that is a great benefit because you never know when two people are down and you have to make the choice of who to save. If you happen to be one of them, you can now save both. And that alone is a very, very powerful ability to have. Fanatical Focus. Starting at 6th level, the divine power that fuels your rage can protect you. If you fail a saving throw while raging, you can re-roll it, and you must use the new roll. You can use this ability only once per rage. Crowd control spells are debilitating on barbarians. If you're fighting a wizard that happens to know you're a barbarian and see you coming at it, if it hits you with something, it can be very debilitating. It can shut you down for a whole combat, and not making an attack or taking damage will eliminate your rage. So there's a lot of things to consider as counters for barbarians, and this gives you an opportunity to break that. It's basically a free advantage on one roll. It does burn out after your rage, but considering how you're raging and what you're doing, the chances you'll really be needing this are very few and far between. But being few and far between, this gives you advantage on that saving throw that one time, and it can save you in dire scenarios. Don't hold on to it, really. You want to use it when you can. Because of the way the barbarian is built, because of the way rage is built, you have a lot of defenses against physical things, but not a lot against anything crowd controlling or magic. So this is a very big benefit to have, and it will make its absolute use when you need it badly to save your life, and it does. Zealous Presence. At 10th level, you learn to channel divine power to inspire zealotry in others. As a bonus action, you unleash a battle cry infused with divine energy. Up to 10 creatures of your choice within 60 feet of you that can hear you gain advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until the start of your next turn. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. As a barbarian, your bonus action is rather interesting as a utility tool. You really do not have many things normally built into your kit. If you're using something like Great Polearm Master, then your bonus action gets consumed a lot. If you happen to be dual wielding, you will be using your bonus action a lot. Most of the time, that's not really the case for most barbarians. So that gives you this great opportunity to not be too concerned about casting this ability and having that interfere with what you're doing. This is hard to gauge the best time to use it because you can only use it once per long rest, so you are very, very limited in its uses. Giving up to 10 creatures advantage on attack rolls and saving throws is a very big deal. If you have fighters in your party, this is that opportunity for them to use Action Surge. If you have sorcerers in your party, definitely should be using Quicken Spell. This is one of those things that's just very, very great for you offensively. The defensive bonus of having advantage on saving throws is something that's really strange to try and preemptively use. You never know what you're fighting, you never know what abilities you're fighting, or if you do, it's better for you if you memory dump that as a player. But you don't know when you'll need to make that desperate saving throw, or when a banshee's going to wail or something's going to devour you. You don't know when that's going to happen. Giving everyone advantage for a round might seem great, dependent on how intelligent the enemies are or how intelligent your DM plays them. This will determine whether or not they're going to use those abilities. Even if you buy them a round where they're not using those abilities just for fear of this advantage, that's worth it. That's a great opportunity for you to crit fish. Your paladins will love you for this ability when you use it. Anybody that has haste on them, anyone that's doing multiple attacks per turn, this is going to be a big boon to them. make sure to use the bonus action before your action so you can give yourself advantage on all this without risking the advantage on attacking you with reckless attack. That's the key thing with this. And use it. Don't wait forever and never use it because you saved it until you thought you needed it. Rage Beyond Death. Beginning at 14th level, the divine power that fuels your rage allows you to shrug off fatal blows. When you're raging, having 0 HP does not knock you unconscious. You must still make death saving throws and suffer the normal effects of taking damage while at 0 hit points. However, if you would die due to failing death saving throws, you don't die until your rage ends. And you die then only if you still have 0 hit points. This is a wild ability. So keep in mind, whenever you take damage while you're unconscious, you fail death saves. And every hit on you is a critical, so you fail 2 death saves when you get hit. So you will be taking death saves as failures every time you get attacked. So your rage is so interesting because, yeah, you're not dropping, you're not falling down, you're still going, and you're just accumulating failed death saves. So as long as battle ends with someone casting Healing Word on you right before your rage ends, you don't die. Keep in mind, if somebody misses that, you will die. It's not, you will be unconscious, you are dead. So, depending on where you are in your circumstance, in your combat, or whatever circumstance to let you use this, other spell slots are very important to you because you need someone to be able to resurrect you, and you need to be resurrected rather quickly. So, if you have the spell slots, great. Go wild! If you don't, fight and hope miraculously that someone drowns you in a potion right before you drop and you survive this. But if you ever wanted to be that hero that I'm gonna die to end this evil and fight that and be that sacrifice, this is that subclass that gives you that ability, and this is that ability. This really pushes you to be that character. I've always loved characters like that, so to me this is it's a gift. But keep in mind, you are in very dangerous territory. Our final thoughts. The Path of the Zealot Barbarian gives you this great ability to really become this angel of mercy, this angel of death, whatever you want, because you're so tied to zealotry and divine powers. You can pick any evil deity you want and make your rage almost an apparent replication of that. If you wanted to roll with a very, very dark party, you could take this and have it so that way your rage causes you to like seep in like viscous, like necrotic oils or something like that, and make yourself appear even scarier than normal. Roll with a undead warlock, a death cleric, a circle of spores druid, a phantom rogue, and really any kind of fighter will fit. And a gloomstalker ranger, that's an intimidating party. There's a lot of cool things you can do with the imagery of what rage is, and this is one of the subclasses I would really implore you to kind of take that tone, kind of make your rage replicate what it is you serve. You are given divine energy. Maybe you have that divine spark in you. Maybe you reflect that when you channel that rage. That rage just like it shuts out all your consciousness and connects you to whatever deity you serve, and you become this like this one, like this vessel of that deity. So transmogrifying your body into looking like that, or at least have the divine energy look like that. Like maybe it's some sort of demon, and so you gain like bestial features or horns or something like that, and like you can do that and really just make it look like this rage is a new transform, like almost like an evil Saiyan kind of transformation. It's very, very cool what you can do with that. And you tie this to real zealotry. You can tie it to anything. You're evil, you're neutral, you're lawful, you're good, whatever it is you want. There's plenty of deities to choose from, and you can pull from that. And you can pull tenets and some of their great stories and really use that to tie yourself into the world that's going on. Maybe it has some connections to some of those deities, and that's why you're there. You know, you can tie yourself in a lot of ways with the story behind your DM's campaign and really integrate the importance of why you're there, and really be scary as a zealot that can just show up and just won't drop, or that can just keep being resurrected without anything but a spell slot, or that just like hits so hard that necrosis rises from your wounds and chokes you. Like, you can do cool things like that. And this is one of the barbarians that gives you that ability to step above all the other subclasses and step forward. You've got to see this a lot if you haven't seen it already. It is enticing. It does extra damage. It gives you resistance to failing an important saving throw. It gives you an opportunity to do a buff to your entire party. It gives you a lot of things you won't see in a lot of other barbarians. And it's wonderfully flavorful because you can choose so many different options to really pull it to the forefront. That being said, if you made it all the way through to the end of this video, we want to thank you so much. We want to thank all of our patrons at Patreon. Thank you for supporting us. What you do for this channel is amazing. We want to thank Dice Legion for helping us out and all of our friends with that 10% discount. Again, use the promo code SINISTER, and the link to their site is in the description. Thank you for giving a spooky kid a chance.